9/11, actually was on duty. I was at Station 2, and we were doing our morning cleanup, and one of the guys came in and said, "Hey, there's something going on TV, something going on in New York." And so I went in there and we started watching the TV, and they were showing the tower and all this black smoke was coming out of it and fire, and they were talking about maybe a plane had hit the tower, but there was a lot of confusion really about what was going on. And so as firefighters, we were talking about what firefighters would be doing, going in and setting up for rescue and working on tactical stuff as far as getting ready to fight the fires that were in there, and how they would be going into the building and trying to get people out. And so we just had that discussion going on, and we just really still couldn't understand how a plane could hit the building. It was a beautiful day in New York, and it was here too. I remember it was crystal blue skies, not a cloud in the sky, and we were watching the TV, and then we saw the other plane hit the other tower. And I remember thinking, that's not an accident. So we're under attack.
It wasn't until we found out the number of guys that went up, just the fact that those guys knew that there was a good chance that when they went up there to get people that they wouldn't be coming back down. And it just takes a certain kind of person that's willing to do something like that. It actually gave me, it was sad and I hated it, but I was proud of all those guys for doing it, and I won't ever forget it. That was my rookie year, and I got a tattoo for it with the 343 for the number of firefighters that died that day.
It was definitely something that affected me on a professional level, as far as wanting to do what I do. Just the bravery behind the first responders. I recall seeing even pictures as a young kid of officers carrying injured people from the towers, and then hearing that they ran back into the towers to get more people, and then the towers collapsed and they never made it out alive. To me, that was just the bravery behind it, and I've been asked questions before in the past, would I sit here and put myself in that situation as well? And I said, without any hesitation, they chose to protect and serve the city of New York. They took it upon themselves to act and run towards the danger versus running away. To me, the courage and the bravery behind the first responders themselves just definitely fueled the fire for me to want to become one myself.
So I was a teacher and a coach, and we had football practice that morning, and so we missed the initial impact. So when I was getting ready for my next class, I was a science teacher, and I had a class coming up of a group of 14 and 15-year-olds. And I knew there's gonna be lots of confusion. I was confused myself. And, especially after seeing that second plane hit, because after the first plane hit, it was just like, man, how in the world could somebody have that big of an accident? And, kind of in denial, I guess. And then when we saw the second plane hit, while I was getting ready for that class, I realized, yeah, this is malicious, and we got something big, really big going on. Then the reports of the other incidents started coming in, and my biggest concern at that point was, man, I got these kids, what are they gonna be thinking, and how am I gonna help them? After a little while, I realized, okay, I can't make them safe. I can't make them feel safe, but what I can do is we can rally. And so it hit me, and I told them, look, everybody here is scared, and we don't know what is going on. We don't know what happened. We know one thing, it was a terrorist attack. And I tried to explain to them what a terrorist does. They want to inject fear into your life so that you stop your normal activities. And then they can start controlling you after that. And my message after that was, we're Americans, and we're not gonna let this fear stop us. We're gonna continue on. And I said, we got people that can figure out who did it and why they did it. But us right now, as regular people, we can sit here and we can show the terrorists that they messed with the wrong people by having a great day at work and doing our job and not stopping and not succumbing to the fear. I wouldn't say that day was the day that I decided to be a firefighter, but that day shed light on the firefighter career as a whole, and kind of brought it to the forefront for me, and it definitely weighed as a strong factor for me to become a firefighter. It shed light on what public service really means, and so 3 years later I was on the fire department here at San Angelo Fire Department, and I've been happy ever since.
You know, it's law enforcement along, you know, with any first responder group is a brotherhood. As a police officer, you know, we feel that sense of loss. Our brothers and sisters that worked for New York City that gave their lives doing their job, where everybody was running away from danger, those first responders were running towards it. And it makes me want to emphasize to the public that what they saw happen with the first responders in New York City is the same thing that we as first responders here in San Angelo do every day. When there's danger, when there's a time of crisis, when there's an emergency, we're not shying away from it. We're running towards the danger to protect them and to serve the community that we've taken an oath to protect and serve.
One of the things that I've always seen regarding any kind of 9/11 memorial service or anything like that is the words, "Never forget." That's always stuck with me because of the fact that I will never forget, you know, anybody who was directly involved with that, you know, the people who unfortunately perished during that day, and the people who perished years after due to either physical or mental issues from actually being there at Ground Zero when it occurred. I mean, just all the memorials throughout the nation is I think it's pretty they're prominent, and they're there so that way we can always remember and never forget the people who perished on that day and the day shortly thereafter or the year shortly thereafter.
It's just a reminder, and that reminder is always there, that this is a dangerous job and you risk a lot to save a lot, and a life is everything, and so you're going to risk everything to save a life, and going into a building to save someone is that ultimate risk and that ultimate sacrifice. And whether it's a single-story residence or it's a 100-story high-rise, that's what you're going to do. But the risk is always there and the danger is always there. We are in a dangerous profession, and that's what we do.
We had a terrorist attack on our home ground, but we rose up, we came together, and that's the big thing. Everybody needs to come together and realize that we're one nation. We're one country. We all have to work together to strive in our beliefs and our freedoms.